So you have a lot of policies that are really very attractive. So for example, funding for nurses, funding for more beds in hospitals and long-term care, the mental health funding, reducing gas by 10 cents per liter,
Yes.
reducing taxes. How do you respond to people who think that none of this is possible without billions of dollars of cuts to current existing services?
I love this question. This is my favorite question. That's like a law ball to me. So I heard the same thing when we went down to the city of Toronto. You can't. When we walked into the city of Toronto, the first question the CFO sat down and the city manager said, we're facing $774 million of pressure, meaning they spent $774 million, the previous administration, than what they could afford. And he said, raise taxes or make cuts. And we looked at him, I said, we aren't making cuts and we aren't raising taxes. We have a proven track record. The other two don't have any record except increasing taxes. We saved the people of Toronto $1.16 billion.
You're referring to your time on City Council,
on
correct?
City Council. And it wasn't just Rob Ford and Doug Ford. It was Rob Ford, Doug Ford, Mike Delgrand, the best budget chief in the country. We had the deputy mayor. We had a whole team. And we're going to take that team approach. When I went to the company before and I said, we're in Tillsonburg, every company says the same thing. And I said to them, people laugh at 4% savings, and they all broke out laughing at me. 4% in the government? You should be able to do that with their eyes closed. Efficient companies can find 4%. If I drill down to my own company, I can probably find, and we're pretty lean, we can find another 2-3%. In government, it's bloated. Not one single person is going to lose their job. And in the city of Toronto, we saved $1.16 billion. Not one single person lost their job.
For sure.
So it's all the scare tactics that they can't be done. Big government. Don't believe it, my friends. Everyone knows government has endless waste, endless.
Do you think there's any specific services that are, in your eyes, wasteful and would be cut as part of the $6 billion of inefficiencies?
There's nothing going to be cut. We're going to drive efficiencies through technology, through best practices, through lean practices. And it can be done. It can be
so
done
no services would be cut?
No, matter of fact, you can increase services.
Okay.
At the City of Toronto, we actually delivered better services because we held people accountable. How many stories do you hear about, in certain ministries that people just, aren't giving it 150%? We're going to start measuring everything, making sure every single person that works for the government, they're going to be on full alert that they're going to be accountable to the taxpayers.
Great.
And we're going to turn this province around. But the attitude that people say, you can't, I challenge anyone, when you go apply to a job, go into the job and say, can't be done, can't do it, can't do this, rather than a positive approach saying, we're going to do it, we're going to find efficiencies, we're going to increase service through technology, through lean practices, through best practices.
Got it. We're
going to get it done. We will have the greatest province anywhere in this country. When the PC government's in place, we're all going to benefit. Every single policy we make will be beneficial to every person in this province across the board.